Welcome to Stories from the Center of the Universe, the podcast about the human experience.
Zach, Gilman, welcome to the Center of the Universe.
Thank you for having me.
We are in Blacksburg, Virginia. Today is October 1st, 2022. Our first child, Zach Gilman, turned 21 2 days ago. On the mic, we have Zach and his mom, my wife, Lisa Gilman. And so we're going to start with Zach. What's your first memory?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. That's a tough question.
Is it?
Yeah, you started with a hard one. I thought it was going to be some simple stuff.
What's your favorite color? You want to start that simple?
Yeah, orange.
Really?
Probably.
Okay.
I just picked it when I was a kid.
It's a good color. You would go to a school that has orange in the uniform, right?
I do.
In the school colors, I guess I should say.
The whole reason I picked it was because of you when I was a kid.
Nice.
A lot of my favorite things were from you when I was a kid.
And then you just stuck with them?
Sports teams, color.
All right, let's start with that. Who are your favorite sports teams?
The Bucks and the Bucks, baby.
The Milwaukee Bucks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, sir.
All right, right on. And most of your life, it's been pretty brutal, right?
Yeah, until the last 3 years. Well, I guess Giannis started playing really well in 2016, but 2021 was the year where we won the whole thing.
It's been pretty good.
A lot of disappointing playoff runs before that, but yeah.
But at least they were in the playoffs.
Yeah, unlike Tampa, who hadn't seen the playoffs since 2007 before Brady.
They won the Super Bowl in 2003. It was the 2002 season. They won in 2003, and it's fine. And you said you don't remember it, obviously, because you weren't even 2 years old.
No, I was a year and a half.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and so
And
you wanted to remember one.
Oh, here's an earliest memory. It was Josh Freeman and LeGarrette Blount in 2010, the Bucks, when we went 10-6.
You were eight?
That was not my earliest memory, but it's my earliest Tampa memory.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is a pretty big hobby of mine, I guess.
Yeah, you're
football.
Definitely an interest, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Lisa, was your pregnancy with Zach pretty easy, or what was it like?
It was fairly easy. It was nice. It was enjoyable. I liked being pregnant.
Really?
Until I nearly died.
Well, all right. So let's talk about you're almost 9 months pregnant.
Right.
Talk about the night that you went into labor.
Oh, I didn't feel well, and I thought I had a fever. But of course we had no thermometers in the house, so your dad had to find a 24-hour pharmacy. And I think it was like 102, 103. And I took some Tylenol and went to bed. And then early the next morning, I just didn't feel you moving. And you moved quite a bit, at 9 months. And I didn't feel you moving. And I called Chris Freeman because she had just had Colin. I'm like, she'll be awake. And she told me to drink some orange juice to get some sugar in me to stir you up. And I did. Felt nothing. So we called, and the doctor said that she was on call, so come on in. So I went in. The epidural guy didn't show up until hours later, so that kind of sucked.
You went without an epidural?
No, I had one, but
up until
labor was hurting.
Right.
What's an epidural?
And
basically a big needle that goes into the lower
it numbs
back
you
to numb during delivery.
Okay.
And for contractions too, right?
Yeah, to help with contractions. So anyway, you were not moving,
So
and
this
you
was
weren't
the night
moving
of
out.
the 28th?
No, this is the 29th, that morning.
Oh, the morning, okay.
Well, they put the heart monitor on me, and they could tell you were still alive. But they had to do an emergency C-section, and they pulled you
Was I supposed
out.
to be an emergency C-section? Not an emergency. Was I supposed to be a C-section?
No.
Oh.
And you weren't supposed to be born until October 1st. But
Until today, 21 years ago.
This was your due date. No, this was our scheduled due date.
10101. Or
That's why I picked it.
10101.
That's why I picked that date. But you came early. Well, not early. On time. But, emergency C-section. That was rough.
And the emergency for Zach was the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck.
Umbilical cord was wrapped around your neck.
A couple of times.
And then...
you were in your mom's stomach choking yourself.
Yep.
Effectively.
And they they thought I might have passed on something to you, because I had such a high fever. So you were in the PICU for almost a week, I want to say. I think you had a spinal tap where they check your fluid and you were fine. But they just wanted to make sure. I think your first APGAR was 2 out of 10.
Which is not great.
Which
You're
is
using a
not
lot
good.
of medical terms that I'm not familiar with.
And then they check for if you're breathing. They check your color. They check your tone, like your
Okay,
muscle tone.
okay.
And I think there's 5
I think I actually
areas.
have heard of that.
And it's either 0, 1, or 2 for each of the 5. And you were a 2, which means you were breathing and maybe had some
Barely.
muscle tone in you. Yeah. But now look at you.
Yeah, but we had to go visit and we had to scrub like we were going into surgery for every time we came to see you.
Yeah.
But obviously,
How was Noni feeling during those?
I'm pretty
days?
sure I don't remember.
I don't either. She was probably asking
She
a
must
lot
have
of
been losing her
questions.
mind
Yeah.
Probably.
knowing her today.
Yeah. But anyway, you ended up being healthy after about a week, and then we took you home.
Yeah, and then we had some videos, and a couple years ago, Lindsay was showing me a video with Dad talking to your baby nurse, and it ends up being your friend Alex's mom.
Yeah, weird coincidence.
Yeah.
The world is not that big. Yeah.
I guess not.
No.
Well, he was only born a month and a half after
Yeah,
me.
she was
maybe
pregnant.
2 months. So,
Yeah. All right. So when Zach was a toddler, fond memory of Zach as a toddler. I have one, and I'm sure you have one. You want me to go first?
Sure.
My fondest memory was we had this snowman thing for Christmas that you press a button, I think, on it, and it would dance by moving its hips side to side and shoulder side to side. And Zach loved that thing. And like we'd be out of the room, we'd come back in, and he's dancing with the snowman.
You would press the button all the time, put your hands on your hips, and imitate the snowman.
I do remember that, but I'm not sure if it's just from me seeing
Video.
videos
The
or
video,
if I
yeah.
actually remember it. But
That was an awesome.
I also remember whenever Mom used to record home videos, I loved seeing myself.
Yes, we had to turn the thing around.
Yeah.
But yeah, the old school cameras,
Yeah, you would flip the...
little monitor thing.
Yeah, and then I would... There's videos of me just walking up to it, my mom flips it around, and it's just like 10 seconds of me staring at it, at the screen.
And then you would point to objects, and you're like, "There's Phil." You know? Phil was our dog.
Yeah.
FILL.
Yeah, and then you would point to other objects, but nobody could see them because you were just looking at yourself.
And you were mesmerized at looking at yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You're not like that now. It's not like you stare at the mirror all the time.
Well, because I've seen technology. I know what it looks like. I know what it is.
So you were fascinated by the technology.
I guess so. I mean, I was like 2 or 3,
Yeah.
4 maybe.
You used to like holding the GPS when they were the portable ones. We would
Oh, yeah.
be driving,
You put
and
one
you
on your
just
dashboard, yeah.
wanted to hold it and stare at it, and it's just a map.
I don't remember that.
Screens were a thing for Zach.
Yeah,
When
I
he was
guess
much
so.
younger.
Still are, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of school work done on my laptop.
A lot of
A
video
lot of
games.
video games.
Yeah. What's your favorite video game?
Right now,
Yeah.
I play a lot of Madden. It just came out like a month ago.
A lot of Rocket League still?
No.
Oh, you're past
That
Rocket
was
League.
high school mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't played that. I haven't touched that in a while.
Okay.
I had a little addiction for about 3 years with that game. That was bad.
You really were addicted to
I
it.
was, yeah.
You still had really good grades in high school, but
I had decent grades.
I guess there was a
but
chance that you could have failed out of high school if you got truly addicted to it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, there's no chance.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have happened.
But you guys wouldn't have let me.
No.
That's true. All right, fond memory of Zach in elementary school.
In elementary school?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not prepared for that.
All right, well, what was it like raising Zach as a 5-year-old when I was gone for a year?
You know, that year was kind of a blur for me. But all 3 of our kids were relatively easy, I want to say. So it was just a blur. I don't remember how I made it through.
I was pretty quiet in school, so I never got in trouble much, so she didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Did you ever get in trouble?
No, I don't think so.
Why is
Not in elementary school. I was just quiet.
quiet and a rule follower?
Yeah. I guess so.
Oh, no, yeah, you were, because I remember when Dad was gone, your hair kind of got long, kind of like it is now. And I finally got it cut for you. And then you came home from school and you said, Mom, the kids were making fun of my haircut. And I said, well, did you tell them it's your haircut and you like it? And you go, no, Mom, we're not allowed to talk in line.
The kids could make fun of you in line, but you couldn't tell.
I guess so. I guess I was I don't know. I don't fight back.
Ever?
Well, now I guess I do. But not as, I don't know.
You want to get
It's
along.
a weird question.
You want to get along with everybody.
Yeah, sure.
All right, what are your memories from elementary school?
I don't know. Mostly just recess playing football. I don't really remember much of my childhood. I was thinking the other day, my memories have it's been going by.
You remember playing Little League sports?
Yeah, well, okay. I guess out of school, yeah. I played sports.
Your first year playing soccer when you were 3.
I don't remember that.
You were in the field just spinning around.
Was I one of those kids?
Picking up the little
Soccer was
flowers.
not interesting to me. I liked basketball and football, but I was never good at any of them.
You were
Sure
good at
you
both of
were.
them.
I was decent at some.
Well,
I wasn't anything special. I wasn't like...
Your parents are biased, but you're a very coordinated guy.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, compared to everyone on Earth, I'm okay. I'm good. But compared to the people that actually play the sports, I'm like, meh.
But you enjoy playing.
Yeah, I had fun.
And you still play basketball, right?
Occasionally with my friends, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go to the court sometimes and we'll shoot around or we'll do 2-on-2s or 3-on-3s or something.
Cool. All right, what about middle school? Any memories from middle school? And I don't mean just the school part, but that age. Anything funny happened in middle school?
You know, I should have been more prepared.
You're fine.
to come into this. I don't know. Maybe if we start talking about stuff, some things will come back. But off the spot, off the dome.
Off the dome, is that what the kids are saying
Off
these
the
days?
dome. I don't know. I guess so.
Did you just make that up?
No, that's a thing. Off the
Okay.
dome.
Right on. I'd never heard it until just now.
I bet you Uncle Ross has probably said it a billion times. It sounds like something he'd say.
Okay, got it. All right, well, tell us about your family, Zach. It's another way of warming up.
We've got 2 younger sisters,
What are their names?
Lindsay and Melissa. Melissa's sitting about 10 feet away from us right now.
And you named her.
She's about to swap in. Yeah, I don't remember naming her. You want to tell that story?
We didn't have another girl's name, and so we made lists. And every name on my list, your father had a comment about.
What were some examples?
Like I said, I
Carly.
liked Alexis, and he's like, no, they're going to call her Sexy Lexi. I liked Carly, and he said, no, I'm going to think about Carly Simon, and all I'm going to see is teeth.
Her giant teeth.
It's funny because Melissa has maybe the tiniest teeth in the world. We kind of all do. I guess it's genetic.
But Melissa somehow ended up on both of our lists. And I don't know, we just couldn't figure it out. We were talking, and you go, I like the name Melissa. I want her to be Melissa.
So I just confirmed it.
Yeah, and we were just over trying to figure it out. So we have a Melissa Marie.
So Zach picked the name. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was the first time he'd, put himself out there.
Yeah. What was I? 5? 4? 4?
You were
It was 4.5.
4.5, yeah, because it was probably close to when she was born.
All right, Lisa, were there any fun words that Zach struggled to say when he was much younger? Like 2, 3 years old?
Yeah, you couldn't say motorcycle. It was motor gop 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 gop.
He put the extra gop-gops on there for emphasis. I
Your
guess.
cousin Stuart was toe.
It's grasshopper.
Grass. He said, Mom, look, it's a hopper grasser.
It's fun.
And then you couldn't say Lindsay's name. All you would say was Wanice. I say, what's your name? And you go, it's Wanice.
That one doesn't make any sense.
No,
The
it
motorcycle and the grasshopper, neither does Toto.
Well,
I don't know where
your
that
mom
came
and I were both witnesses to those.
doesn't. Yeah.
No, I believe you. I just have no idea where it came from.
Wanice. So that was a funny one.
Well, it was especially funny when he would, kind of get mad when you said, it's Lindsay, Zach, and you're like, what niece?
Well, you had a similar thing with your sister.
Oh, I couldn't say her
Instead
name
of
either.
Elizabeth, you called her Wizzabuff.
Wubbabuff.
Wibbabuff.
Yeah,
And so now everyone calls her Buffy.
yeah. But nobody calls Lindsay niece.
Oh, Winnie.
No, that'd be a
Or
little
Winnies.
weird.
Yeah. Nothing,
Buffy's a name.
nothing comes from Winnies, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from.
All right, high school. Any memories from high school?
I mean, sure, I guess.
What's your fondest memory from high school?
Oh, man. 'Cause I was pretty tame in high school. Like, I didn't do anything crazy.
I didn't ask you the craziest
I
thing.
had fun. I guess going to the river house with our family and just seeing everyone was fun, like for the 4th of July. Oh, setting something on fire. Remember when the yard caught on fire?
You are a bit of a pyro, right?
No, I didn't do it. Uncle Ross did it.
No, I know, but you are.
Oh, yeah, I
you
like setting
enjoy
stuff on fire.
Yeah.
It kind of goes with my major, I guess.
Fair enough.
But setting the grass on fire on 4th of July, I think I was in middle school maybe.
Yeah, the grass
Or
was
elementary
dry,
school.
maybe.
Yeah,
Hadn't
and
rained in a
the
while.
firework box tipped over. Started launching fireworks
Back at us.
back into the crowd.
Yeah.
And then some of the grass caught on fire. Someone had to run and get the hose. I think Stuart ran and got the hose, or Cameron sprayed the grass to put the fire out.
Those are good memories.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
I might have been in the house with the dogs.
It might have been like 10 years ago.
Do you have any stories related to your grandparents? Rattle off your grandparents' names, their actual grandparent names.
Okay, so my mom's parents are Noni and Poppy. My dad's parents are Mima and Papa. What was that one thing? Remember that joke that I said about Noni when she said, what does Noni call me? And I said, Michael or something. You remember that?
Yeah.
I don't remember the context, but this is going to sound weird, but that was one of the funniest things.
When she kept calling you her son's name
Yeah.
instead of Zach.
Well, she still does it. She calls you Michael, too, probably.
Yeah.
You get Alan. I get Alan.
She can't keep y'all straight.
No.
And there's not many of us, so.
There really aren't. There's probably like 4 males in the family, and she just cycles through them until she gets to the right one.
Does Meemaw call you the right name?
Yeah.
She used to call me the dog's names when I was a
Well,
kid.
Papa spells my name wrong.
Yeah, he says it's shorthand because he's too lazy to write 4 letters on Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
So instead of doing Z-A-C-H, he does Z-A-K. You're like, Dad, you know that's not how he spells it.
It's not a single K.
That's shorthand for Zach. I'm like, okay.
Sure.
Couldn't take the time to write that extra letter.
Yeah.
Or instead of even putting a K, why not just a C?
Right. Because the C's actually in your name.
C's easier to write, too.
All right, so when you were senior high school, talk to us about the pandemic.
It was weird. I was very, very introverted. I've grown out of my shell since high school. But I was actually kind of excited for the pandemic because it meant I didn't have to go to school. Didn't have to not talk to anyone because I like seeing my friends and stuff. But like in high school, you got presentations and stuff. You got tests.
You got to put yourself out there.
Yeah, and I just was not a fan of it. I've changed since then. I think I'm a little more outgoing, but I was excited because I got to stay home and I don't know, text my friends or play video games or do whatever.
Were you excited the whole time?
For the first probably month, maybe. And then after that, it just kind of got depressing because I was at home all day. I mean, I would go out with my friends and go out to eat and stuff, but outside of that, I was getting like no social contact.
Yeah, and it's important to have social contact.
Yeah, and then our graduation was pretty depressing as well. It was just we were all lined up, or we weren't lined up outside. We had like certain time slots, and then we're only allowed 5 or 6, no, maybe 7 family members. No, it was 5.
No, it was 6.
4.
It was 6, but we only did 5 because we couldn't pick a grandparent.
We did
we
4.
did 4. So
We
I
did
think
4.
it was 5 people.
Oh.
And me, you, Lindsay, and Melissa, because he didn't count.
Yeah, but you had to.
And I think we had 5 tickets, and like, what grandparent are we gonna pick?
Yeah, because all 4 of our grandparents, or my grandparents, live like 10 minutes away.
Yeah, you grew up with all 4.
I grew up with all 4 of them, so they all wanted to be there, and we couldn't just invite 1 or 2.
They
so
waited
they
in the
waited
parking lot.
outside. Yeah, they waited in the parking lot, and then when the time was, when your name was called, I guess, you just walk across the stage, and there's 5 people in the audience, and like 10 teachers who I probably didn't even have, all clapping and cheering, and then you walk across. It was pretty sad. But
Well, they had different stations for photo ops.
They
Too,
did have
with
photos,
balloons and 20.
It was weird, though.
It was a bummer.
it was, and then the first year of college sucked too, because I didn't know what
Well,
college.
let's back up.
Okay.
Which schools were you looking at when you were in high school?
I applied to UVA, Virginia Tech, William and Mary, CNU, and George Mason, I think. I got into all of them except for UVA, and then I got waitlisted to the school I'm at now, which is Tech. Probably because I applied regular decision, which was not smart. I got lazy and procrastinated on my applications. But I eventually ended up getting in for business. So I chose here over William.
So if you got into all of them, where were you going to go? Probably here, right, at Virginia Tech?
Maybe UVA.
Okay.
Only because you went there and you said it's a good school. It's got a good name.
Yeah.
I think I would have been happier here, though.
Yeah.
Because all my friends go here. We got, well, not better sports, but
you're definitely better in
the
football.
students are more into the sports here, I think, than
UVA.
at UVA.
A lot of UVA kids are too cool for school.
Well, a lot of them are just, they're all smart and
there are a lot of good people at UVA, but they're also not as into sports as they should be, probably.
Some are, but I think there's more at Tech. There's also more people at Tech.
All right, so you got waitlisted at Tech, didn't get into UVA, and then you got into William & Mary.
I was amazed I got into William & Mary. I did not think I was going to get in.
Your mom and I gave money to William & Mary because we thought you were going there, right?
It was a couple $100 for like an acceptance fee or something.
It was like $500.
Was it really that much?
Yeah, you're going to pay us back at some point.
Okay. Once I get my first job out of college, I'll pay you guys.
But then you found out you got off the wait list, and you're like, I really want to go to Tech.
Yeah, because I had 4 really good friends going here, and I had nobody going to William & Mary. Almost my entire high school either went to Virginia Tech or JMU, and then various other schools across the country. But like half my school went to one of those two schools.
All right, walk us through your freshman year at Tech.
It was weird. I didn't know it was weird at the time, and I remember coming home and you guys asking me, like, is it weird? Is it weird being, in your dorm all the time? And I said, I don't know, because I don't know anything else. Like, it was just normal for me. But then having a mostly normal sophomore year, we had to wear masks for like 2/3 of the year. And then so far, a normal junior year, it was really weird. So my day today would be just wake up in my dorm, get on my laptop, do whatever work I needed to do, go to Zoom class. I maybe had 1 or 2 a day. I don't think I had 3. Excuse me. Then I would occasionally go out to eat with my friends. My friends lived about 3 floors above me, so I would spend a lot of time up there.
Yeah, and who helped you decide to live in the same dorm as your friends?
You did. So I was I had 4 friends that go there, and you can only have 1 roommate, so they all paired up. And
they already paired up while you were on the wait list, right?
Well, I was on the wait list, yeah, and so I had to either find a random roommate in the same building or have my own room to myself in a different building. And for whatever reason, I mean, this goes back to me being an introvert and just not wanting any social interaction for whatever reason. I was a weird kid, but I just wanted to be by myself in a room. And my mom talked me out of it and told me, just live in the same building. You're 3 floors away. You can hang out with them whenever you want. You just have to sleep with another person. It's not that big of a deal. And luckily, my roommate freshman year was pretty chill. He was quiet. He wasn't like an alcoholic or anything.
He wasn't a crazy person.
I didn't have to deal with him like coming back at 4 a.m. and like stumbling over things and stuff. So I was good there.
All right, cool.
But yeah, I would go to the gym a lot freshman year. That's when I started lifting weights.
What's your bench up to now?
It's pretty sad. It's only 230.
So you still haven't beaten me?
No, I've got a ways to go. A long ways to go. I've been really inconsistent, especially since changing majors. I've just got slightly more work.
We'll talk about that. What were you majoring in and what are you majoring in now?
It's a weird switch. I was majoring in business. I'm now currently in chemical engineering. Weird switch. Everyone I tell gives me a weird look. It tells me I'm stupid.
Why?
No, they don't tell me I'm stupid. I'm just joking. But
you are choosing a harder.
A lot of people
course.
think it's really weird. Yeah, it's harder. It's kind of just something I always wanted to do. When I applied to schools, I was pretty much 50-50 on business or engineering. I just wasn't 100% confident I could get into engineering. And also, it was right after I turned 18, and I was getting into the stock market, and I was like, I'm going to be a big business guy and make a lot of money and, work on Wall Street or whatever. So I was like, all right, it's a 50-50 chance. I'm interested in both these things, and going the business route gives me a better chance of getting into the school.
And at that point, you knew you could transfer?
Yeah, I'd done some research, and I knew that there's ways to transfer internally, and so I applied business pretty much everywhere. I got in to tech, business. I did my first semester on Zoom class. I don't know if it was just the Zoom class or if it was the major itself, but I just did not like it. So I started taking my spring semester. I started taking engineering courses, and after talking to an advisor, they told me take 50-50 business classes and engineering classes, because you have to take, the way it works is you have to take a certain number of engineering classes, prerequisites, and then you have to have a certain GPA, and then you can apply. So it took me spring semester of my freshman year and fall semester of my sophomore year to take all the prerequisites. I probably could have gotten it done just in the spring and the fall, but if I didn't get into engineering, I'd be way behind in my business stuff. So I just did fall and spring, and then I got into chemical engineering.
I remember you called me and said I got into chemical engineering, and I was super excited. Your mom and I both were.
That was in person.
Oh, was it in person?
I was home, yeah.
Okay. Was it over?
It was Christmas.
It was
Christmas
over
time.
Christmas, and I was in the basement. I ran upstairs I
Oh,
didn't
that's
run
right,
upstairs,
that's
but
right.
I came upstairs to tell you.
Yeah, we were super excited for you.
Yeah.
And then you go back to school, and you called me up and you said, by the way, tuition's more expensive for engineers. No, I take that back. I think you told me it was like a few $100 more expensive because of lab or something.
Yeah, labs.
And then you said I have to do a 5th year or summers.
Well, okay, there was a chance that I could do it in 4 years, but I would have to take like an average of 4 classes a summer for the next 2 summers, and I need to get I don't need one, but it'd be really helpful to get an internship, and I wouldn't be able to get an internship if I didn't, or if I took summer classes. So my advisor heavily recommended I do it in 5 years. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's all good.
And I've talked to a bunch of the guys in my fraternity, and a lot of them are engineers doing 5th years as well.
All right, so what are your plans after you graduate?
Get a job.
Get a job doing what?
Hopefully engineering. I don't really care what field it is, because chemical engineers can work in a lot of stuff. There's like chemicals, there's defense, there's oil and gas, there's semiconductors, pulp and paper, there's a bunch of different stuff. I don't really have a preference. An engineering job would be nice, but I don't know.
Doing engineering work is something that interests you?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be in the major if I didn't think it was interesting.
What's interesting about it?
I don't know. I like the problem solving stuff. I like learning about science and stuff, and so that's part of the reason why I'm in the major. But another reason is I like problem solving, and I feel like this is gonna sound kind of cliche, but I feel like engineering gives me a better chance to do good in the world compared to business. Not that business people can't do good.
Business people can do nonprofit work, and even some of the for-profit work can be good for people, but engineering seems like a more obvious place to do good.
I remember when I first applied, I really wanted to do energy, like renewable energy. Yeah, and I still like that, but I've broadened, and I don't just want to do that. So yeah.
All right. Well, you are legal now. You can do anything that any adult can do, other than run for elected office.
Run for office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not 25 yet.
That's pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask you a question. Well, Lisa, any final thoughts about your son turning 21? Can you believe that he's 21?
No, it's.
What were you doing 21 years ago today? In the hospital still?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
You were in the PICU.
Well, I came home after 3 days.
But 21 years ago today, she was still in the hospital.
No, but, with each stage of your life, when you were old enough to stay home by yourself, that was like an aha moment. When you were able to drive, it was like, woohoo, now, you can go pick up your sister
That was
or
5
drop
years
them.
ago.
Right.
Almost.
But now that you're 21, it's like, wow, now you're really old. Like now,
You know what I was thinking the other day?
like you can buy alcohol.
You know what I was thinking the other day? Well, I've been thinking this for a couple months. This decade, the 2020s, is when I might have my first child.
Oh, God.
You guys might be, because I'll be 29 by the end of the decade.
Please, you can be 40 when you have your first child. That's
I'm just
fine.
No,
saying.
don't wait till you're 40, but
There's a possibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys might be grandparents by the end of the 2020s.
Graduate college and start worrying.
Whoa, okay, obviously. I'm focused on that first.
Yeah, that's you just.
I'm going to be at least 27 probably.
I hadn't thought about being a grandparent until Zach just said that. That's great. All right, fun question, and then we're going to swap mom out and bring your baby sister in. Fun question is, you're a talk show host. You get to invite a male, a female, musical act, and then if you like stand-up comedy, you can have a stand-up comedian. They can be alive or dead. They can be for your entertainment, for the world's entertainment. It can be a thoughtful talk show. It can be whatever you want it to be. Who are your 4 guests?
Male Kanye West.
Okay.
I think he's entertaining, and I like his music.
You love his music. Entertaining beyond music?
He's an entertaining personality. He's got some issues.
Sure.
But everyone does.
Don't we all? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's in the spotlight 24/7.
Okay.
Female, probably. Come back to you. Comedian, though, you were talking about him earlier. I like Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's
Bill Burr's pretty funny. There's some others, but they're not as big. And
Burr's pretty gutsy.
can I say musical act Kanye as well?
Sure. They can be both. You really like Kanye's music.
I just learned something.
It's a semi-recent thing.
Okay.
Over the last year and a half, probably. I don't know why. Because he's not new. Like he's not a new
He's eclectic
artist.
though. He's different.
He's been making music since I was a kid, and I really never listened to him until about a year ago.
Yeah. All right. Right on.
It's just a phase. I guess.
So do you interview Kanye, then interview the female that you haven't named yet, and then Kanye comes out as a musical act?
Sure.
And then Burr brings it home with stand-up?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your female? I could give you an easy out, and you could say your mom, but I mean, let's.
Oh, it doesn't have to be famous?
That can be alive or dead, not famous.
Oh,
famous.
alive or dead. Oh.
Yeah. Can be somebody who lived 2,000 years ago.
Well, then maybe Kanye might change. Not the musical artist. The.
All right. So Kanye's music, Bill Burr's comedy. Start over, male, female, famous, not famous, live, dead.
Can I interview Jesus?
Sure.
Jesus.
Okay.
100%.
You're like the 5th person to say that.
Well, I think it's the fact that we know enough about him, but not like a lot.
Yeah.
Like
I think we all have a lot of questions.
some people don't even think he existed, which I'm pretty sure they've.
You'd like to bring him back to prove that he existed.
Well, not only that, just to know what's going on, because that's a pretty important part of a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
Religion, yeah.
Like 2 billion people on the planet are Christians. It's like a quarter of the world. And then female. I don't know what direction to go with that. Like, should I go politics or
Like Nancy
music
Reagan.
Or, yeah,
Mother Teresa.
Mother
Sting.
Teresa would be interesting. I've heard she's not as good of a person as people think she is. I don't know if that's true.
That's been popping up lately. Yeah.
I don't know what she did, but who would you bring?
No, that's not.
Have you been asked that?
I have not been asked that, and I'm not being asked that today.
Well, your son's gonna ask you.
Uh,
That's my birthday wish.
wow. For your birthday, I have to answer this question?
I'd like to hear it while I take some time.
All right, so my comedian's Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
I could listen to him every night.
He's pretty funny.
Musical group, I would love to bring Jimi Hendrix back.
Okay.
I think he's unbelievably creative.
Who's better, him or Eric Clapton
I'm going to say
on the guitar?
it's Jimmy.
Okay. Would Lindsay agree?
Who cares?
Okay. I just,
Well, and if she did
I could
disagree,
ask
she's
you.
wrong.
well, she's about 20 feet away from me, so I could ask her
Yeah.
after this.
My female. Ooh. Well, that's a tough one. My male, I think I'd want to talk to Abraham Lincoln.
I was thinking about that.
Oh, that's
too.
a good one.
My female, I need to learn more about her, so she'd be a good guest, and I could ask her some interesting questions. Susan B. Anthony in women's voting, she was extremely brave a little over 100 years ago.
Harriet Tubman would be cool.
I think that would be cool too.
Yeah,
Harriet Tubman would be
would be a good answer. Is that your answer?
I think I might go Harriet
All
Tubman.
right, nice.
I was just thinking back to learning about. We had like in elementary school where we learned about famous women, and she was one of them.
And Frank would be interesting too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. All right, you ready for the swap out? Here comes
All right.
Melissa Marie Gilman, named by Zach Gilman.
Yours truly.
All right, come on, Mel. Hop down. We are banging into all kinds of stuff. Mel, don't touch it.
Hi.
What's going on? All right, do you have any questions for your brother or any fond memories of your brother?
Who's your favorite sister?
It's a good question. It's fair. Do you have an answer to that, Zach?
I think I do. Zeppy.
I was just thinking that.
Zeppy is our 3-year-old female dog. Yeah.
You should have brought her into Shiloh.
Here to Blacksburg?
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a car for 7 hours over a 2-day period. Yeah. Well, do you have a good memory of your brother?
When we went to Dominican Republic in 2012, we had like separate hotel rooms.
You were 6 at the time, right?
Yeah. Zach was 10.
Maybe 11.
Yeah. No, he was 10.
Just shy of his 11th birthday.
Yeah. And Mom and Dad had their own hotel room, and then Zach, Lindsay, and I, we had our own room. And it was like connected, like our room, and then there's like a door we could go to y'all's room.
Right.
And we were like making like fun videos, and I remember making them, and he was like, Zach was like kind of the recorder and stuff, and like Lindsay and I were like kind of, I guess, one was like a crazy person, the other was like just like innocent or whatever, and trying to get attacked by.
You guys were being creative.
Yeah.
And Zach was the cameraman.
Yeah, and I remember that. I don't remember that very well, but I remember some of it.
You enjoyed it though.
Yeah. And I also remember we were at our old house. I was probably like 5. Zach was trying to record me.
We were in the Bumblebee house. Yellow siding and black shutters.
Yeah, and Lindsay wanted to be in like the video, but I didn't. And I was like, went upstairs, and I tried to like go away from the camera while Zach tried to find me and record me. I don't remember that much about that, but
you remember Zach trying to record you.
Yeah, very fondly.
I don't know why that reminds me of the Belize vacation when Ethan and I stole the coconuts.
You want to tell that story?
You're better at telling it.
Well, so I had hatched this idea that you could get in trouble for taking a coconut off a coconut tree in Belize.
This was like 3 years ago too, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't that
No,
long.
it was longer than that.
4 years ago, maybe?
No, it was in 2019, spring break.
Oh, it was 3 years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Spring break 2019.
3 years ago.
Okay, so I was 17. Ethan was like 15.
Yeah, and so Ethan, our first day there, took a coconut off a coconut tree. He climbed it, right?
No, he got on my shoulders.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. There was a conspiracy.
You coerced us into stealing it. Did you coerce us?
No, not the
or
first.
Did we
Not
hatch
the
it?
first day. This was
Okay.
the 2 of you.
We hatched a plan to steal a coconut. I'm heavier than Ethan, so Ethan got on my shoulders, and then reached up to steal a coconut at this resort we were at in Belize.
And so anyway, we were on a day trip. The next like 2 days later.
Yeah, we took it back and put it in the fridge.
So anyway, we're out, and I concocted this idea that it was illegal. I totally made it up, and I got Ethan's dad Brian and the tour guide in on this lie, this fib we were telling, and we were hoping that Ethan would either full-fledged believe it, or there would at least be some doubt. And so all day we're planting seeds. At some point we bring we got back to the place we were staying. Brian and I bring the moms in on it. So now Laura, Lisa, Brian, and I understand that this is not true, but we want Ethan and Zach to believe it. We go through the rest of the trip. We're watering the seeds that we had planted on that day trip, and we finally get to the airport. We're leaving Belize, and Laura taps me on the shoulder, and she says, "It's happening now." And I go closer over, and this Delta agent was maybe doing the best acting performance I had ever personally or physically witnessed. He was amazing.
He had me convinced.
So what, I didn't hear the whole thing. What did that Delta? Tell me about the conversation with the Delta agent.
I wasn't really paying attention. I just remember I was standing next to the Coleman family for whatever reason. I don't know why. And he just like starts tapping on his keyboard, and he just looks up at Ethan and with like this stern look on his face. And he's like, hold on for a second. Can you stay here for a minute? He's like, the rest of you are good to go, or something like that.
He's looking right at Ethan.
He's looking at Ethan, yeah. And then, I don't remember it too well, but he basically tells Ethan that he's got a hold on his passport or whatever. Like, he can't leave the country until he pays this fine. And as Ethan's like looking at the guy like, what are you talking about? Or he kind of like, there's a moment where he realizes it. He's like, oh crap. And then I was standing like right behind him, and for whatever reason, I guess I'm a bad friend. I just slowly start backing away to try to distance myself.
Once you realize Ethan may be in trouble, and you had conspired to take the first coconut.
I don't know, first of all, why Ethan and I both believe this, and why we didn't take the time to look it up on our phones, because we had internet, like we had our phones on us, we didn't look it up, but the Delta guy looked at him, and then next to him, his friend, or his coworker,
The other Delta guy, yeah.
started just laughing hysterically.
We had kept this thing going for like 4 days.
It was at least 4 days.
Yeah, and the first Delta guy gets like 5 stars, A+ rating, and the other Delta guy gets an F because he blew it. I mean, we could have kept that going for another 3 or 4 minutes easy.
There was also one point where, this was right after you told us, or right after the tour guides told us it was illegal. Me and Ethan, we went to his hotel room, and
Ethan's hotel room.
We grabbed the coconut that we had stored in the fridge. We decided we had to get rid of the evidence, and so we ran down the stairs like as sneakily as possible for whatever reason, and we got outside and we just saw a bush and we just threw it in the bush, and we looked to our right and there's this woman staring at us.
The witness.
There's this woman staring at us, and we didn't know who it was. It could have been a hotel worker. She could have known the law, and we didn't. So we just started screaming like little girls and ran all the way back upstairs giggling like we were about to get in trouble.
This is only 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was 17 years old. I was almost able
18.
to vote.
Almost
I think
18.
You were 16.
Maybe I was 16. I don't know.
Because
in
it was before
2019,
your
I would have.
birthday.
No, I would have been 17.
Oh, yeah, because you would have been turning 18.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Zach, are you dating anybody now?
I am.
Tell us about the young lady you're dating.
Her name is Bridget. We've been dating for over 2 years now at this point. Just over 2 years.
You should tell the people what our grandma calls her sometimes.
My mom's mom, for whatever reason, has never called her Bridget first, ever. She's always called her Rachel. We don't know why. We don't know who Rachel is.
She sees Bridget and immediately thinks Rachel.
I know one girl named Rachel, and she went to my high school, and I don't think she knows who that is.
She claims that, like, she knows a Rachel that looks a lot like Bridget.
But we've never seen this person.
No.
She says it's this woman from church's daughter or niece or something who's Rachel, who looks just like her, but Bridget's 20 years old, and her friend's niece is probably like 40 or 50.
How'd you meet Bridget?
Over the summer before our freshman year, from mutual friends.
And were y'all set up on a date?
No,
you just started hanging out.
We just started hanging. Well, we saw each other at like a little get together before we all go off to college, and we had mutual friends because she's friends with some girls from our high school, and so we both noticed. I was wearing a Virginia Tech shirt, I think, and she came up to me and started talking about how we're both going to the same school, and we started talking, and then we didn't really talk until we got to college, and she just invited herself over. I was hanging out in Trey, my friend's dorm, and she was just like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Just hanging out." She's like, "Can I come in?" I was like, "Sure." We started hanging out, and then
because you wouldn't have done the other way.
No,
right? Because you were introverted.
I was super introverted. I mean, it took some balls for me to ask her out at all, to be honest with you. But yeah, I was super introverted and shy and quiet and stuff. So she definitely made the first move. Is that funny?
And you guys have been dating for 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, a little over 2 years.
That's
I
cool.
think September 10th was our 2 year.
Nice.
So
At least it wasn't
almost
September 11th. Glad you didn't start.
No, and I wasn't even
September
thinking
11th.
about that. But that's her dad's birthday. So
yeah, it's my childhood best friend's birthday too.
yeah, it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. Well, Zach, we love you very much. Happy 21st birthday. I'm glad we got to see you near your birthday. We're here in Blacksburg until tomorrow. And when I asked if you were cool recording this, you said immediately, yeah, you were cool doing it, which is not the kid you were 3 years ago.
No, because I remember when you started this podcast a couple of years ago, I didn't want to be on it at all.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
But this is fun. Thank you.
Mel, do you love Zach?
Sometimes. He can get, like, annoying sometimes.
He's a big brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think when I was younger, I think I was more annoying to Lindsay than I was to him, and then, like, Lindsay was just annoying to him.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Cool.
'Cause,
All right.
yeah.
Awesome. Any final thoughts, Zach?
I don't know.
Where are we going to eat tonight?
Kabuki.
Kabuki. It's a Japanese steakhouse, right?
Hibachi.
It is hibachi.
Hibachi. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy this episode, please subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd also really appreciate if you'd rate and review us. You can find us at scodupodcast.com.